boys are targeted. I think it's much easier in church for men to have access to boys than it is for men to have access to girls. Because in the churches I grew up in, I did have some male teachers, but usually girls are taught by women. Now, youth group was usually a male, but it's much easier to gain access if you're an adult man to adult boys, because who is going to teach boys about like any male activities? It's always going to be a male. And that's why predators always go to places where they have trusting parents and ignorant kids who the parents never taught them what is and isn't okay between adults and kids. My parents never taught me. My parents never taught me that if an adult touched me below my waist or below my neck was inappropriate. They never talked about that. I wouldn't even known it was grooming. What kid does? And Christians, especially the extremely conservative fundamentalist Christians, they don't talk in depth to their kids by and large from the tens of thousands I've met in therapy. They don't teach their kids about consent. They teach kids not to have sex, what sex looks like, but they don't really go into what grooming is, what assault, what consent is, and what it's not. Kids are vulnerable because their parents think it won't happen, and if it does happen, I'll catch it before it goes all the way. The problem is these predators are so clever, so well-liked, so charismatic, they can fool parents. They can fool pastors. They can fool anybody, including their own wife. And it's not just predators. Think of such a rigid purity culture environment. How many people who aren't cis and straight hide their entire lives? Even from being born in a church, how many kids waste their lives being straight when they're not, because that's all they ever have known? Because parents don't want their kids to learn things that goes against their beliefs. My parents didn't. And when that's the only thing the kid knows, of course they're going to be a Christian. Because saying no causes the family problems. And I'm glad there are religious people out there that do teach their kids outside of their religion. Personally, I don't think religion should ever be included in education unless it caused an event in history or impacted science. If you want to learn religion or be taught religious beliefs and religious worldview, go to seminary or in college, go to a class about religion. That's fine. It just shouldn't be with kids who are under 18. And it really shouldn't be with... Religion really doesn't have a place in education unless we're talking about history. The problem is people think the church is a safe place for kids, but the most dangerous place for children and women are in their home, at work, or at church. I personally believe that more kids are groomed in church than they ever will be in school. And 99 out of 100 times, it's by someone you know. And if you're raised in an environment of silence, where girls aren't taught about bodily autonomy, consent, sovereignty, they're taught their body isn't their own, don't trust your thoughts, your body is dirty, cover it up, you're setting children up to, instead of